We're going to do this one, capturing and examining the registry. The registry is a very rich source of data about Windows machines, and the tool we're going to use is FTK Imager. You can do it a lot of ways, but that's the common tool used for this. And to understand the registry, you can just run registry editor, regedit, and then you can see the structure of the registry. And the main thing about the registry, it appears to be folders and subfolders. These are called hives, and they're actually part of a database structure. They're not really folders and subfolders, but they look like it. And so you get used to these long paths: local machine, system, current control set. So HKey local machine, system, current control set, looks like I've already gone here. Then control hive list. Control is here, and hive list is down here somewhere. Hive list. Okay, and the point of this shows you where the registry is stored. And it is, everything about the registry is sort of mind-bogglingly complex at first until you get used to it. The registry is not stored in one file, and it's not even stored in one folder. It's all over the place. There's a config file that has the 5 main registry hives: SAM, security, software, system, and defaults. And then there are others, ntuser.dat, and what goes on is these 5 here contain the essential component settings of your system that take effect before you log in. When you log in, it then has the custom for you, which is in the ntuser.dat tied to your profile. So here it is, users SAM ntuser.dat. Those are my personal settings, my desktop and such, that appear after you log in. And then there are other things down here like user class and stuff, but these ones are the main ones. So these many files configured to make this one database, which has all the settings for Windows and for all the software you install on your machine. And therefore, all kinds of useful forensic information is stored here. So you can see the hive files. Now, you could actually save them from inside regedit. You could save the registry, but it turns out for forensic purposes, it's better to use a forensic tool. And there's a free one provided by FTK called FTK Imager that you can get. And the best thing in a real acquisition is to run it from a thumb drive, so you have a smaller effect on the system. But in our case, we're actually installing it locally in a virtual machine, which is a little bit sloppy, but it makes the project easier under the conditions of students using virtual machines, where you don't really have access to thumb drives necessarily. So we can capture the registry here. We do File, Obtain Protected Files. It's here, Obtain Protected Files. Okay, now it's going to ask me how many files to get, just enough for the passwords or the whole thing. Passwords covering all registry files, which is what I want. And then I have to browse and have a folder to put it in somewhere. So I'll browse, I guess I'll go on my desktop and make a new folder, reg demo. See if that works. It does work, all right. Although it doesn't seem to know. What did I do? I must have failed to do it. Let's see, desktop. Oh, a new folder, the name didn't stick. Can I hit F2? No? Control Alt F, function F2? There we are, reg demo. All right, there, now I've chosen a folder, I'll say okay. There we are. So now I capture it, and there it goes. It won't take long, the registry is not that big, it's only a few megabytes. But the thing about it is, the object you created is not easy to understand. So here's the folder I created called reg demo. When you open it, you're going to see those files in there. Now, you may not see them. You have to adjust. Windows is going to try to hide them from you. In order to see them, you have to view options, show hidden files and folders. And so view, show hidden items is checked on this machine. So I've turned them on. If you don't have hidden items showing, then you won't see ntuser.dat, I think. Nope, it's not there. It's in there, you just can't see it. Microsoft likes to hide things from you. So you have to view, show hidden files. And now you see the main 5 ones here, and if you go in users and your username, now you'll see ntuser.dat, which is probably the most important one. The other ones have general settings about the operating system, but this is the one that has information about what this user has been doing, which is usually what you want. So it's there whether you can see it or not. And so those files, you can't easily read them. You need a program to read them. You could, in principle, read them with regedit itself, but of course we're going to use Autopsy because it's the right software and it keeps track of the investigator and all your other evidence items and so on. So we make a new case, import logical files. So I start Autopsy. All right, and as we know, it'll take a couple of minutes to get going here.
Can you run this on the cloud?
You certainly could make a cloud server and run it there. Yeah, you can totally, you should be running on an Azure machine, or that would be fine, yeah. And the FBI does that. The FBI puts all the cases in the cloud, and you analyze them in the cloud. So they have, that way they can have physical separation between the investigator and the forensic team. So the investigator will seize the equipment, they'll send it to the lab technicians will take images and put them in the cloud, and then the investigator can access them in the cloud. It's a pretty good system.
But that would still count as a single user type of analysis, right? As opposed to the one that is on the server that many people can access.
Right, it's a private cloud and you limit access, of course. Otherwise the evidence would be corrupted and stuff, yeah. So they have login and stuff to make sure only the authorized user is getting to it, yeah. This is Reg demo. And next, and I don't care about this metadata. Maybe I have to put in a number. All right, then finish. All right, now it's going to create a container. Then I move in logical files. Because these are just copies of files. It's not a disk image or anything. It's just copies of files. There's going to be no issue here of recovering deleted data or anything. We're just looking in a normal file. The only thing the software is going to do is interpret all that data so it's more easy to read. Because the original registry is just sorted in binary format. You need some kind of tool to unpack it to make it easy to see what it means. All right, so I don't care about the host name, but I do care about the data. So it's logical files, which is this choice, and then next. And now I browse, I add, and I go to my Reg demo folder, and I'll just add all the files in that folder. So select, and then okay, logical files. I could mess with the timestamps, but I really don't care. So I'll do next. And now I'm going to choose what analysis to do, and let's see what I recommended here. At the registry image, next. At ingest, just next. Okay, so I guess I'm just going to leave them all selected. Fine, I'll just do next, and then finish. And there it is starting the ingest. You see it in the quarter. And this can take a while, but it may not take too long because it may notice quickly that it doesn't need to do a bunch of this analysis. It doesn't need to do Android analysis because it's not Android. It doesn't need to do picture analysis because it's not pictures. Oh, there we are, 88%. So it skipped most of the tests because they didn't apply. It had some kind of error, which is common. And looks like it's doing some progress. So we should be able to, in a lower right pane of Autopsy, we should be able to navigate it here. So here's my data sources, and there it is, logical file, and logical files, and Reg demo. All right, and here, all right, let's see. Wanted to make this move down. There it is. There it is. There. All right. There we go. So here you see some things, cache, report, log, and so on. It's done analyzing. Let me see. Here's how you do it. You go all the way down to IE user. Okay, then you go to ntuser.dat. Fair enough. So you navigate this tree, down to the NT user, so that is reg demo. Then I should see a folder called users, but I don't see one. This is disturbing. Well, I don't know how I'm going to get anything done without a users folder. Here's just something in here. Image gallery and keyword search. Well, my demo seems to have failed. Somehow I didn't get a good registry image or something. I went to reg demo, right? It's there. I wonder what went wrong here. Let me see if anybody there noticed what I did wrong. What is the password for Zoom interaction? Well, I'm not running Zoom right now, so I'll have it later. Probably 4.19.3 will work comparing to 421.0. It's the version you think. Yes, maybe my later version this is 421.0. It should still be able to analyze a registry image. Did I have to tell it was a registry image somehow? I wonder if I had to tell it to analyze somehow. Select data source, logical files. This is going to foul up students doing this project if it doesn't work. See if I can find it anywhere. File types. There are databases. There they are. No, it's nothing. Well, I am unhappy. Image gallery, keyword search, reports. None of this makes any sense. All right. You're not going to be able to do this project with this version of Autopsy, apparently. I'm going to have to research and find out what the problem is. Maybe you have to downgrade your previous version, or we have to import it in some different way. One thing I wonder is if I had to analyze it differently. Let me just try this again. Add data source. Maybe I had to select a different analysis method. Next, logical files. There isn't any registry option here. Next. Add local files and folders. Well, I think I might have gone to the wrong folder. Oh, I went to the wrong folder. I went to something in Documents. It was on my desktop. That's what happened. I went to some old thing that's probably broken. The new one I made today was on my desktop. So Sam Desktop.
I think you added in the previous screen.
Yeah, I found some old one, which I did in a previous class, which apparently, this one has a real registry in it. Okay, good. So now it's C user Sam Desktop Reg Demo. That's the one I just made. Hopefully this one will work. And now all the options are selected, so it should be able to do whatever analysis is necessary. But I think I had a folder with this name that was just empty or something. So let's see what happens. Now, see, here's the second one coming in. So this one was no good, but here's another one. And now if I expand this one, there, Reg Demo. Now there are users. Okay, so that's what happened. I've done this demo too many times on this machine and made mistakes. So now I have a users folder and a SAM folder, and in here I have ntuser.dat, and now you can view the registry. So just like you did in regedit, you can navigate the registry here. The only weird thing about a forensic acquisition is the registry is in different files. So the ntuser.dat is here, but it only has some of the folders. The rest are in those other files like SAM and system. But you can find a lot of the stuff here. So that's why now the project says, navigate to root software Microsoft Windows. So it's root software, Microsoft and Windows. Okay. And current version Explorer User Assist. Current version. And Windows Explorer, this is not Internet Explorer, it's Windows Explorer, the thing that draws those yellow folders. And then User Assist is one of the most famous registry keys you always go for. This keeps track of all the windows that you've been opening. These are globally unique identifiers of Windows, these long base hexadecimal objects, and each of those has information about things you've been opening. So you want to, these are obfuscated with ROT13. So you want to go and find one of them that has a count in it. So you expand them and see if this one has a count in it, but the count is 0. You need to find one with a count bigger than 0. So you just have to hunt till you find one. There, this one has 120 subkeys. And now that you've done it, I made the flag, I think something up here like the word name, but these are encrypted with ROT13, which is really, really, really stupid. This is one of Microsoft's most ridiculous security decisions left over from the past. And so you can decrypt it at various websites like this one. There are online sites that will do ROT13. You can also find it in a Cracker Jack box. It's an incredibly primitive cipher. So if I want to see what this means, it's HR, let's go down to this one, ZVPE, okay, ZVPE, BFBSG. And that is Microsoft. So this is the encryption scheme they use to preserve your privacy in the registry. They store the names of folders and programs you've been opening in ROT13 so-called encryption, which is just moving everything forward 13 letters in the alphabet. So this is something like Microsoft Internet Explorer or something expressed here. And you'll see executables end in dot, and there, .rkr. And .rkr is .rkr, that's exe. So it is incredibly primitive. And anyway, there you have that's the user assist key, which records things about what you've been doing. All right. And I used to have other parts here that are no longer relevant, like typed URLs and stuff. There used to be one that recorded typed URLs, but only applied to Internet Explorer, and modern versions of Windows no longer have Internet Explorer. So anyway, that gives you some practice acquiring the registry and reading the registry and getting used to how it looks. The forensically captured registry is scattered across several files, but most of the good stuff is in ntuser.dat. If you want to recover the login password, you have to use those other files like SAM and system. But for this, to find out what the user's been doing, you just use user assist. All right, you matched the wrong, yes, somebody figured this out. You matched the wrong reg demo phone. Well, good, Dash Killer figured it out before I did. Good for you. Anyway, that's my demo. I'm going to stop the recording.